Hi everyone and welcome. Today we're diving into the wonderful world of pixel art animation in video games. From its humble beginnings to its modern resurgence, pixel art has a unique charm that continues to captivate its players. We'll explore how it's evolved, look at iconic games, and break down the different sizes of pixel characters. Let's get started. Pixel art was born out of necessity. In the early days of gaming, hardware limitations meant developers had to be creative with very few pixels. Games like Pong and Space Invaders were the pioneers, using simple blocks to represent characters and objects. As technology advanced, so did the detail. The 8-bit era with consoles like NES gave us iconic characters like Mario and Link. Then the 16-bit era with the SNES and the Sega Genesis brought even more detail and smoother animations seen in games like Super Mario World and Sonic the Hedgehog. Later, with the rise of 3D, pixel art took a back seat, but it never truly disappeared. Today, it's experiencing a massive and vibrant revival, particularly in the indie game scene. This resurgence is fueled by a few factors: nostalgia for classic games, the artistic freedom pixel art allows, and the fact that it can be a more accessible art style for smaller development teams. Many indie developers use pixel art to create visual stunning and emotionally resonant games. It's not just a retro throwback, it's a modern artistic choice. Let's talk about some games that really showcase the power of pixel art, both classic and modern. The Legend of Zelda: A Link to the Past is a masterpiece of the 16-bit graphics with its vibrant world and detailed characters. Chrono Trigger is another SNES gem known for its fluid animations and expressive character designs. But the pixel art renaissance is in full swing. Recent indie hits like Stardew Valley use pixel art to create charming and immersive farming simulator. Terraria combines pixel art with sandbox gameplay for endless exploring and crafting. Undertale uses a unique minimalist pixel style to create a memorable and emotional experience. Shovel Knight perfectly blends retro aesthetics and modern gameplay, show how far the pixel style has come. These games demonstrate the versatility and enduring appeal of pixel art, proving it's not just a nostalgic throwback, but a powerful artistic tool in its own right. Now, let's break down the different sizes of pixel characters. We'll start with the smallest, 8x8 pixels. This size is incredibly limited, but forces artists to be creative. Think of tiny enemies in the early arcade games or simple sprites in some retro platformers. For example, many of the small enemies in the early games like Galaga are close to 8x8 or smaller. Think of the simple power-ups or collectibles that were 8x8. Moving up, we have 16x16 pixels. This size allows for more detail and character. Many early RPG and platformers use 16x16 sprites for their main characters and enemies. Think of the player character in the original Pokemon games on the Game Boy, or the basic enemies in the early RPGs like Final Fantasy on the NES. 16x16 gives you a good balance of detail and performance. Next, we have 32x32 pixels. This size is where characters start becoming more recognizable and expressive. Many SNES and Genesis games use 32x32 sprites for their main characters, allowing for more detail in animations and facial expressions. Think of the characters in Super Mario World or The Legend of Zelda: Link to the Past. These sizes allowed for smoother animations and more nuance in character designs. Finally, we have 64x64 pixels. This size allows for a significant amount of detail and is often used for larger characters, bosses, or detailed character portraits. Think of larger bosses in the SNES RPGs or the detailed character portraits in some adventure games. Characters in Chrono Trigger during cutscenes often use larger sprites approaching this size. The size really allows for more complex shading and intricate designs. Pixel art animation is a testament to the creativity and ingenuity of game developers, whether it's the simplicity of 8x8 or the detail of 64x64. Each size has its own charm. And with the resurgence of pixel art in the indie scene, we see it's more than just nostalgia, it's a vibrant and powerful art form. What's your favorite pixel art game? Either classic or modern?